Hi, welcome to the final portion of this MOOC on sustainability for startups and international business. And this is really my great honors to discuss this issue with you on innovation and how innovation can really influence the concept of sustainability. Well, when you start from the language of innovation, I'm pretty sure that the first thing that pops up in your head might be newness, technology, or anything that comes with drastic change in the way we operate business, or even you offer the new product or services to the marketplace. Well, there are some truth elements in the concept of innovation. It concerns newness and something that you can see as the new solution for your customers or the new marketplace. Or it could be something that hasn't really existed before and you invent it. But think about this. When you design a new business and you know what the core values will be, in reality, we tend to focus pretty much on profit, and that's perfectly fine, right? If you think of the traditional business, when they design the new business model, startup, for example, when they think of the way to create a new product or service to the new business model, the first thing that they have to think about is the channels for revenue. How can they generate these decent revenues in order to grow and to survive, of course. But in reality, now there's an outcry from the society that good business that also concern issues on sustainability, whether you discuss environment or social, as well as the concept of governance in the organization. Innovation can make a huge difference, right? For example, when you think of how certain startups really combine or infuse innovation into sustainability, they can come up with a great solution of new product or services that can be beneficial not only for the organization, but also for society. Think of a good example. I'd like to address one social business called The Big Issue, which was created in a number of parts in the Western world, such as in the UK and in Australia and New Zealand. The Big Issue is a great example of company that raise concern on how to improve quality of life of people who are homeless. And homeless has been long-term issue for most part of the world for a number of reasons. People decide to be homeless for a number of reasons. For example, economic, social, individual, or a major part of lifestyle. But in order to get them survive, this particular startup or social startup try to find business model that transform homeless people into someone who can really find the means to live. For example, get the magazine and get them to be the face of the organization and sell magazine, and then they earn decent income from selling magazine. Apart from that, the deep root of the problem for homelessness is the fact that most people may not be well connected to society. So this kind of social innovation bring them into the connection with area where they sell products such as magazine or calendar at the special event. Right, so this is example of company that can also generate money, but also at the same time create the goodness for society as part of these social issues. Right, so in this part, we understand that innovation can come in many forms. I'd like to address 2 points when we discuss this issue. First, what kind of innovation that would bring business such as startups or international business that operate worldwide to become more efficiency when it comes to deciding their own business model. And second, how can we really think about this from the theoretical and practical perspective? Well, to make yourself a great, let's say, innovative and sustainable organization, it might be the fact that you start from creating a novel product or services, right? The product can be something of brand new in nature, or it could be something that you really developed from existing product that create value, but you provide the sustainable edge into it by using innovation. Think about this. Each day, we consume coffee, right? And one of the most innovative products in the world in our era was the coffee machine that we can just press it and use capsule, then you can enjoy a cup of coffee of the cafe style. It's popular enough to the point that nearly 40% of the American household own this capsule coffee machine. Sounds great, doesn't it? In fact, it comes with unexpected sustainable issue. And you can imagine that each day, nearly 500,000 of plastic capsules were dumped into the landfill. And that creates environmental problems to most part of the world. So most companies now try to think of how can we really transform this kind of product into recyclable plastic. And then we might go back to the original idea of coffee, enjoy the ground coffee using it by hand. Okay, so novel product can be an issue for that. Second, if you want to identify the new sustainable business model system with innovation, you can think of the process, right? The process, which include supply chain, operation, or even human aspect of that. There are quite a number of companies worldwide that call themselves startup and create the new process that leans toward the edge of sustainable and at the same time provide new ways of conducting business. A great example for me is when you think of reading magazine or looking at newspaper in the old day. Well, 10 years ago, reading platform may not be as popular as today, but with this platform, we understand that we can get access to new magazines, information, and newspaper each day. That's really changed our life into a very easy and comfortable way. You can get information, you can subscribe to the magazine at the lower cost because you can cut the cost of logistics as well as the cost of paper. And of course, at the same time, it really includes the environmental aspect into that because now we use less and less paper, and that's what we need from the environmental aspect. Another example, if you think of a company that engage in resources and environment, such as BioCop, a company that sell idea by transforming waste from coffee or from other kind of waste into fuel. And that's fit into the concept of renewable fuel that we really need in the world at the moment. We concern the lack of understanding on how can we using the recycle system and create the energy from the waste. You know, the idea of circular economy become popular more and more. In this part of the world, you might see a good startup, for example, in Thailand. One example of a company that bring the concept of circular economy and make it a reality is Loop, a Thai startup that focusing upon cloth and textile industry. Each day, we have got a lot of sewage and unused piece of cloth. I'm not just talking about piece, I'm talking about yards and yards of cloth. And what do we do with this? Dump them to the landfill, burn them, and you know that in many circumstances, when you cannot get rid of them, this piece of cloth, unused piece of cloth in the right way, instead of burning them, they became toxic and became part of the climate change problem, right? Temperatures rising because of these kind of issues. So companies such as Loop try to connect, use the technology such as platform, at the same time using the new business model where the owner of the company and his team, connecting shops and those who are in need of uniform or souvenir that come as green and eco-friendly. So they can really connect this and create or co-create value that really make a win-win situation for startups such as Loop and the clients. Apart from this, the process that I learned from Loop is the sense that people-to-people kind of relationship can create the new way of doing business. This organization, instead of running the business into the BCG and the circular economy system, they also advocate for circular economy, talking to strategy and idea on how to achieve this complex issue and simplifying it. and it seems to work very well when students or new startups start to work on this issue. Well, in the next part of this learning, I'm pretty sure that you will be keen to hear more examples. I will bring the discussion with some of the excellent startups who adopt innovation to create new way of doing business.